I could already hear the rugged trumpets. Well. Look at what we have here. We got two monkeys on the football field. What these jigaboos talking about now?
Right.
Probably talking about they Hellcat scat packs, some watermelon and fried chicken.
Wow.
All right.
My boy.
Long time no see.
Yeah, been a minute, man.
I mean, hey, look, just goes to show, we've both been busy.
Yeah, man.
Being busy ain't hurt nobody, right?
Hey.
Yeah.
Life be lifing.
Oh, your boy been going through it with the job hunt.
Yeah, man. What's up with that? You was talking about the post office gig didn't
yeah.
last too
So
long
just to keep it short, it actually wasn't the job itself, bro. Like that's mainly what gets people being a carrier. They quit because obviously it's just a brutal job, especially in AZ,
Yeah.
summer and all that.
For sure.
It's just basically just due to couldn't get religious exemption because that was something I needed. And some may think that's a little crazy to quit a job. Hey, look, you don't live a day in my shoes, buddy, so just keep your comments to yourself. But for me, it was something I take it very serious. So, hey, I ain't never gonna fault nobody for trying to get right with the higher power they believe in. Don't fault me for it. So
Yeah,
but for what it was, I'm glad I at least tried it because I've told you this many times. I'm a firm believer in I will never quit without at least trying.
Right.
Because I was always brought up, before you say you can't do something or you decide to quit something, at least make sure you gave it the effort that it deserved.
Right.
So, gave it that effort. Was not a bad job, I'll say that. But just that job is mainly for people that, you honestly don't have much going on in your life because, now knowing what I know about it, you got to really pick, like, is it worth not knowing when your next day off going to be? If you got a family, is it worth most likely living at work all the time? My case, being very strict about my religion, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to practice it as much as you truly feel you need to. So you got to put that into consideration. And I made my choice. So it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, because you go to church, what, 3 days a week?
2. It used to be 3.
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember you was going 3 days a week.
Nah.
I'm like, you can't be doing that and have that.
Nah, man. It ain't actually been 3 days a week for quite a long time. Like most people don't know. So for those that don't know, I am a practicing Jehovah's Witness. Probably one of the more strict religions in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. It ain't for everyone. I'll gladly tell you that right now. It is not for everybody. And, I never knock anybody for, has, tried to practice it. It falls through. I won't knock anybody. It's not easy. But, for those that do stick with it, I always say, definitely it has shaped my life for the better, I feel, because, we'll probably touch more on this in the later discussion of this episode. But, morally, I feel like it's definitely helped me out because, obviously that's something that's been kind of a lost thing in today's society, morals. And, some morals are different than others. I'm not knocking anybody else's morals, but, me, how I live my life, I always say, if I was not brought up the way I was brought up, there's a high chance I could be out here doing something stupid. There's a high chance I could be in prison. There's a high chance I could be dead.
Right.
So, I just look at it like that. But, to each their own.
You can't argue with that.
Exactly. But, other than that, though, everything going well, just a day at a time, How about you, man? How you been?
Oh, man. Just living, bro. Like you said, day at a time, man.
Nah, I feel it.
Trying to get through the days, bro. Doing, been a lot more active this year than I have been in a long time. So, it's
How so?
well, I mean, you got to think about it now. When I was, in a relationship, it was like really all of my time was spent with her for the most part. So, it's like now that I don't have that, it's just like I'm just out, doing more, going more places, getting, back into the car thing more.
Yeah.
Been getting back out there, doing more shit under the car, going out to meets, going cruising with my friends and stuff. So, it's kind of getting back
good
to
time
that.
to yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I mean, we all need it, bro. Nah, I feel it, bro. I mean, yeah, which hoping sometime this year gonna be joining you more with the car stuff. Looking into a couple things.
Yeah, I'm about to say, man, it's about time.
I mean, it's been about time
for the last 2 years.
I know. I mean, honestly, it's just trying to just find the right car was the big problem. I will say though, I think I've narrowed it down to 2. I'm gonna keep those to myself for now.
Oh, I think I already know what it is.
Oh yeah, you know.
Is that the one that we had talked about yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but yeah, man. Yeah, so obviously it's been a minute since we recorded. Wanted to talk about UFC a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, man. What you thinking, man? How you feeling about this card coming up?
Oh.
What you thinking? You thinking? Is he gonna get it?
It depends. We talked about this many times.
As long as he shows up with his head in the game,
exactly. If we get Sean Strickland, is he? Oh no.
Nah.
DDP. He going. Yeah.
I won't say he'll walk through him if that's the one that shows up, but he will win.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you saw the Strickland fight. I mean, I think Strickland probably he could have won.
I agree. I still think Strickland won.
Strickland did the most damage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think Strickland.
Here's my thing with DDP's run so far, bro. Like Rob, I feel like that was one of those like fluke wins, but I think they was just kind of Rob, like just past fights catching up with him.
I mean, he got caught.
Exactly.
I mean, what
I'm
what
like,
else can you say?
Okay, yeah,
like he got caught.
Yeah, you did it there. Strickland, I'm like,
I mean, if you look at DDP's run, he had a lot of finishes and things of that nature. But I mean, if you look at the totality of his fights, how many niggas has he fought that's really like top tier guys other than Rob and Sean?
Yeah, and even then, he struggled with Sean. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, they should have ran that back, bro.
I think Sean should have got but I mean, they got to be fair. That was his first title defense.
Yeah,
and he didn't win. So it's like, do you really?
Honestly, though, that fight should have been a draw, in my opinion. If anything.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if Sean didn't win, it should have been a draw. Because I mean, Dricus got his ass kicked in that fight, and they gave it to him. So,
but let's be real here, though. This fight sadly just sells. That's why.
Oh yeah, every
all the beef,
like Israel said, man, he manifested this. It was like he wanted that fight.
Here's my thing, bro.
And he got it.
The whole going back to DDP's comments, like I get what he's trying to say, but here's the problem: there's so many things that are kind of contradictory.
What, talking about how he's a real African?
Yeah, and he was the only African that brought the belt back. That's why it's contradictory, because for one, the first thing Izzy, Kamaru, Francis did was go right back to Africa as soon as they won. So I'm like, what are you talking about?
That and the fact that it's just like you're talking about I'm African-ness, but it's like you got these 3 dudes here, champions, mind you.
Yes.
That were born and raised in Africa.
Exactly.
Are real Africans.
Because
but they're not real Africans because they don't live there anymore.
And let's keep this in mind. I get it. Dricus is from South Africa, but let's be real here.
Dricus is white.
And that's what I'm getting to.
If
You're
look,
only there because of colonization.
oh yeah, exactly. I'm just like, if you look at like half of the population of South Africa, like the majority of the population, actually, they're from like Europe.
Exactly.
They're not even.
And I can already
Native
hear
Africans.
some people listening right now. I can already hear it.
You can fact check that, nigga.
Exactly.
It's the majority of the population no. This is facts.
Yes.
The reality of it is that the majority of the South African population is white. They are not native African people.
Exactly. So it's like, that's why I can understand why Izzy had an issue with that statement. Because keep in mind, yes, Dricus is not fully wrong. He's the only one out of the 4
that still lives there.
Yes, and predominantly trains out there. I'm not knocking him for that. Even Izzy didn't knock him for that fully. Izzy never even said he's not a real African.
Exactly.
It's just the fact that he tried to discredit the other 3.
Right.
That's where the problem came. And that's what people need to sit down and really get through their heads.
Yeah, I think it was mostly just him talking.
Exactly.
I don't think he really believes that, but it's just like,
I think it's more so it's just a trick to sell the fight, which I can't knock fully. I can't.
Just like the in cage interview.
Oh yeah.
Talking about some you ain't no brother of mine, son. Talking about some, he called him son. Like, really? Like, come on, dog. Like, that is like the ultimate. Like, that's one thing you don't call, like, if you ain't like friends with a black dude or from the East Coast, you don't call them son or boy. Like, you just don't do that. Now, if you know each other and be like, oh, that's my boy, or, you know, you like how we talk on the East Coast, hey, what's up, son? Like that's different.
Exactly.
If you don't know me and you walk up talking about some, yeah, son, or hey, boy, what do you like? No, fuck that.
Yeah.
You don't call me that.
So honestly, I do think Izzy can get it done, but it's all dependent on which Izzy shows up.
He got to be sharp.
Exactly.
Because DDP is a tank.
Exactly.
He's a big boy for 185, so it's like he's a tank.
But at the same time, if it goes the way that the Paulo Costa one went, aside from Paulo Costa supposedly being a hungover,
what if he just goes in there and freezes up?
Yeah.
He
or let's be real here. If he tries to brawl with him, but does a little too much, Izzy's going to catch him. He might get a couple hits in, but Izzy's going to catch you if you do a little too much.
It's what if Izzy is sharp.
That too.
Because Sean Strickland was
just swinging for the fences.
Or less brawling.
Oh yeah.
And Izzy was just like frozen. Yeah. Like he didn't do nothing. So I'm like, if he's sharp though, he's he's like the king of counter strikes right now. So it's kind of like you can't.
So
you got DDP gonna have to be sharp if he don't want to get caught.
Yeah, actually, who else is on that card? Actually, I got it right here. Kai Car France versus Steve Erceg. I mean, I think we both got Kai.
I don't know, bro. Fucking,
I've seen Erceg a couple times.
Erceg is all right.
Yeah, he's not bad. I'm gonna go with Kai. The downfall of Dan Hooker. He's got Matus Gamrot. I probably butchered that. I apologize.
Yeah, Gamrot is serious.
Yeah, so like I said, the downfall of Dan Hooker.
The downfall of Dan Hooker been happening.
Oh yeah. Tai Tuivasa, Jairzinho Rosenstruck.
That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
That
could go either way, to be honest.
Be a fun one, yeah. Whoever get caught first.
Oh yeah.
Whoever get caught first.
Li Jingliang versus Carlos Prates.
I don't even know who that is.
I
know who Jing Liang
is,
but I don't know who the other guy is.
Prelims, Junior Tafa versus Walter Walker.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Joshua Culibao versus Ricardo Ramos. Casey O'Neill, Luano Santos. Jack Jenkins, Herbert Burns.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
Herbert's
Gilbert's
fighting.
brother.
Yeah. I ain't seen him fight.
I know it's been quite a long time.
He's been out the game for a minute.
Yeah, and then I don't know the rest.
What
of these
weight
niggas.
is that at?
I believe that is at
Was it 55?
featherweight. Featherweight.
Whoa.
Yeah. Damn, he's
Shit.
dropping weight.
Yeah, I better say because he was a 55er before.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, so should be a good fight. Should be a good fight.
I would have thought that nigga was gonna move up in weight, not
I
down.
know, right?
Because Herbert is actually bigger than Gilbert,
Yeah.
like height wise.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I meant to ask, you catch Olympics at all other than basketball?
I saw a little bit
So
of it, yeah.
I need to ask you about this. Breaking. Do you think it should be an Olympic sport?
I don't know, bro.
Well, problem is that Australian chick ruined it.
I'd say between breaking and shooting, I'm just kind of like,
I'm breaking clearly is the more you got to show you at least can do something body wise versus shooting is just
I'm like you're shooting a gun in the Olympics now. That's it. What is going on?
It's
now?
crazy out here.
I'm like, man.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is that Australian chick, what's her name? Ray Gunn. Hey, she had me out here thinking, man, I'm about to try out for the next Olympics, man. I think I got a shot. Best believe I was about to hit the forbidden move, man. You know the one that got Chris Brown shot and stomped the yard.
Oh yeah,
best believe
the elbow joint.
I'll be out here, man, popping and locking.
Did you see the was it rugby?
Oh yeah,
that chick, that Australian joint, like she was out there on beast mode.
Woo.
I was like, God damn.
Hey, look,
she was out there just
I had to get ran over,
bro. That fucking chick tried to fucking get her down. She picked her ass up and kept running.
Hey,
I'm like, oh no,
serious rugby.
I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. Overall, it wasn't a bad Olympics. You know, I really enjoyed skateboarding myself.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yuto showed, he had gold in the making.
I say Yuto was that guy right now.
It was just funny though, because like I remember the last Olympics in Tokyo, people were really trying to say like, oh, they only gave him the win because it's in Japan. I'm like, no. For one, if you watch all the contests, him and Nigel go back and forth all the time.
Should they say Nigel is the most hated guy in skating?
He is. There's a lot of controversy that surrounds him though. He's had a couple allegations against him that are kind of like, you're not sure. I mean, I look at it like this. Aside from all that, without a doubt, he is the most successful contest skater. Let me say that again. Contest skater we've ever seen, because he has long surpassed Tony Hawk. Most people don't want to accept it, but he has. He's won every contest.
He ain't done no 900 though.
I'm talking about in his discipline. Let's call. Shut up.
I know what you mean. Like, I mean, you gotta think though. It's like Nigel Houston's been doing this shit like
since he was
forever.
11, right? That's what's crazy about it.
It's like the old heads like me remember Nigel when he was like a young boy,
and it was
with
funny
the
too.
Long ass dreadlocks that was about as long as him.
Some cat really tried to say like, man, but I mean, Tony Hawk has been competing longer. My bro, the X Games didn't start till like Tony Hawk was in his 20s, his mid 20s at that. Right. So I'm like, I mean, yeah, but also too, there's a lot of controversy with back in the day that Tony Hawk was only so successful because his dad was actually the president of the Skate Contest Federation.
It wasn't that, but you just have to look at the overall picture.
Exactly.
Back then, when it came to like vert skating, Tony Hawk was the guy. Exactly. Like there wasn't any vert skater better than him.
Realistically, his only competition was Christian Asoy, but
Christian Asoy, I don't think he was even doing it.
No, he was.
Not like that.
No, he was. Problem is he went to jail.
You know, no, that's what I'm saying. Like when Tony was on his run, Christian Asoy wasn't really out there.
The earlier days.
Yeah, in the early days. Oh yeah, in the early
that's
days.
more so what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But other than that, like, I mean, yeah, you had the Bones Brigade, but the problem is nobody was more successful than Tony Hawk.
Then you had a few guys that were decent. Like you
Steve.
had Bucky Lazick was good.
Oh yeah, but he came in later, like the later days.
He came towards like the I'd say probably like the late 90s is when he
Yeah.
started to really take off.
Problem is, like Tony Hawk did have competition. It's just it was kind of on his way out when he started having more competition.
Right, exactly. When he was like in his prime years, it was
But
he was the
you know
guy.
what's funny? So I didn't know Andy McDonald was British. I didn't know that.
Wow.
I never knew.
Wow.
I never knew. So like when I saw him compete for Britain, I'm like, huh? Like,
Yeah.
hang on.
There was like a couple of guys from Europe.
Yeah, I was tripping out. Yeah, but no, I mean overall it was good. Now, let's be real. Olympic basketball, us as niggas, that was what we really cared about.
I mean, that's the biggest thing in the Olympics.
You know, right now.
The girls team.
I mean, we
through.
knew they were gonna do it.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Them niggas won by 1 point.
I mean,
They
hey,
almost didn't do it.
hey, look, man.
Almost didn't.
We knew they were going to do it. Let's just
Nah.
be honest. Asia Wilson was not about to lose.
Nah, that one chick on the France team, what was it, Williams?
Oh yeah.
She hit that fucking shot at the end, and it was like, bro, if she would have been like this far back,
Oh yeah.
it would have been a wrap.
Now
But they would have went into overtime.
yeah. Now
But-
the men, let's just say this. Let's be real here. Their
She
biggest
did
threat was Serbia.
The men was on shaky legs
Well,
through the whole
I'm
thing
gonna
now.
say this right now.
Because that exhibition game against Sudan,
Yeah.
that did not look too good.
But I'm gonna say this: if we would have lost, all blame I feel should have been pointed at Steve Kerr because of that lineup situation.
What do you mean?
I just felt him switching the lineup so constantly. On top of that, leaving out arguably the best players in certain games was in a sense hindering the team.
What you mean by that? Who did he leave out that was the best player?
Some of the best players.
I'm like, because Jason Tatum was he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in the playoffs and in the Olympics.
Nah, I feel
so
that.
it's like
But
he
when
wasn't
sat
shooting
out-
well.
When he sat out Joel Embiid for that one game.
Joel Embiid won't doing too well either.
Hey, look, man.
All them damn turnovers and shit. Anthony Davis was outplaying him. Stop it.
Okay.
Like Anthony Davis was doing his thing. Like he should have
For
been
once.
starting.
For one.
Yeah, Anthony Davis was on some shit in the Olympics. I'm like, why?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we get this during
Oh,
the season?
because it's less games.
I'm like, shit.
Same
but
with Joel Embiid, it's less games.
that and it's like that defensive rules, like you can camp in the paint and there's no 3 seconds. There's
Yeah.
Anthony Davis was swatting everything.
Well, here's
he
what's
was
funny
on
though.
shit.
Blanc in the Hoops chat was like, "Hey, you see what Joel Embiid doing to Joker?" I'm like,
Oh, he cooked his ass in that last game.
"Oh yeah," but I'm like, "Bro,
Yeah.
let's be real here. Joker probably don't even really want to be there. Let's just be honest for a second."
Nah, but you got to think Joker. Like looking at the teams, like you gotta be real with yourself.
Oh yeah,
Outside of Joker, like what else?
exactly. Nobody.
I mean, yeah, Bogey Bogdanovich was hooping,
Oh yeah.
but he's a role player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is no other star player on his
But
team.
I
other
say
than
this
him.
though, that makes it even more impressive then because he's got to do even more, and he was still getting it done. He was keeping them in the game.
Well, that's the thing. Bogey don't get that type of opportunity in
Mhm.
the league. Like on that
Well, I'm
Serbian
talking about
team, he's
Joker.
one of the better players.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about Joker though. That just shows how impressive he actually is.
Well, I mean, we never.
But we
said that
know.
we never
Yeah.
said he wasn't.
Now, of course, at the end of the day, I still think they were the biggest threat because Canada is just super young right now. You give them a few years.
I honestly thought that Canada was gonna come in third.
That's what I thought too.
I
I thought
thought-
they were going to be top 3, but
you
give
know?
them that next Olympics. Oh, I think they're going to be ready.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
Serbia had it in. France, like they got a good squad.
French Wallace, man.
I wasn't surprised that they
Yeah.
made it to the gold medal game.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, young squad.
Hey,
Well,
oh,
a
yeah.
young star.
Yeah.
Because Wembanyama was still the best player on that
Oh,
team.
yeah.
Man,
But
he's
hey,
still
look,
really
you
young.
know, everybody else followed suit.
Yeah, you see Evan Fournier, bro.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Evan Fournier in
Here's the
any
thing. I've always
European
thought,
basketball, he's always hooping.
I've always thought Evan Fournier was actually a consistent player. It's just he's on the wrong team half the time.
Well, they tried to make Evan Fournier the star.
Yeah,
early in his career.
Yeah, he's not the star.
He's not a star.
He's just a suitable, consistent starter.
When he was in Orlando, like early in his career, like he was like the guy, and they weren't winning shit.
Oh, 100%.
So he's, but they got Wembanyama, young, up and coming, man. He's still, growing, and he's gonna be really good.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta give it to French Ben Wallace over there too.
Oh, Yabusele. Yeah,
hey, look.
You saw him yam on Bron. Yeah. Everybody was like, "Oh shit!"
Hey, look, you had
like he dunked on LeBron.
You had the Bron stands. Oh man, they was ready to fly over there.
Oh man, you should have seen him on that other dude just got your name that I be telling you about to be posting all of that nonsense on Facebook. This dude named Devontae Mack. He be posting some straight up nonsense on there.
Ain't my op.
They got your name, bro.
Hey, look, man.
I'm like, this dude he be posting some crazy ass shit on there. And he was like, oh, he dunked on LeBron and he cheated. And I was like, how he cheat?
I just want to make it clear that's not me. I don't have no burner accounts.
It's like Yabusele actually was drafted.
Oh yeah.
They said that he played for like the Celtics or something at one point, and then he was out the league.
No, I mean, I'd like to see him get a shot. He seems like he's more than capable.
Yeah,
I'm assuming he's kind of just an undersized forward.
Yeah,
okay, that's
he's like a 4-man.
Okay,
yeah. So I'm curious, but I gotta give credit where it's due. I mean, USA came in there stacked.
Oh yeah,
but I mean that's just what they do.
Oh yeah,
you know what?
I mean, I will say though, Ant-Man did his job. I mean, really, everybody did their job when it was time to do their job.
Yeah, everybody played well.
Ant-Man looked impressive.
I'm Steph Curry though.
Hey,
Steph fucking Curry.
Look, man.
Woo. Y'all need to stop talking shit about that man and let him Yeah, early on, everybody was like, oh, this nigga's washed. He ain't doing nothing. And then those last 2 games, we got NBA Steph Curry. And it was just kind of like, okay. Yeah.
Hey, look.
We
Curry with the shot.
That nigga was cooking everybody.
Now, where does Steph rank all time with point guards to you?
I mean, shit, Steph been like top 5.
Oh, I agree.
For me, for a long time.
I think that's showing he's number 3 for me.
I mean, yeah, I got...
The only 2 I can put over him is Magic and John Stockton. Those are the only 2 I could really put over him.
I would actually put him over John Stockton.
Because of the championships, I assume?
Because everything... I mean, the only thing Stockton did better than him was defense, right? It's just like when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, he was not better than Steph Curry.
Oh, of course not. But let's be real here, though. He didn't have to be. He had the mailman.
Right.
So that's the only thing. That's where you kind of start getting into it, like the discussion starts.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Steph Curry had weapons.
No, I'm only saying that.
KD.
No, I'm only saying that, though, because, like, it starts the discussion. What do you favor more?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because John Stockton could shoot.
Exactly.
But he just didn't.
Exactly. He didn't have to.
This is like, why do you think this man is the all-time leader in assists? Because all he did was pass the ball to Karl Malone. Why do you think
nobody's going to catch him?
It's just like, that was his job. Yeah. Why do you think Karl Malone now he's what, number 3?
I think so.
On the scoring list?
I think so.
Yeah, because he was 2 ahead of Jordan.
Yeah.
And then Kobe passed up Jordan, and then LeBron passed up everybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I think...
number 3 on the scoring list, and he top all-time assist. I mean, that... Come on now.
I do think Curry should have got MVP.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
He should have.
I get it. LeBron's a leader. I get it.
No,
Steph won them that game.
Of course, they got to give it to Captain America.
Captain America.
I'm just like, bruh. It was a couple names. It was La Captain America and Captain L'America. And I'm just like, here we go. But I mean, you can't say that LeBron wasn't hooping.
Exactly.
LeBron was still doing his thing.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's why I say, I feel like the GOAT discussion, regardless of how you feel, it has to be 1A Jordan, 1B LeBron.
I think most of us have it that way.
Exactly.
Except for the LeBron stands.
Exactly. And it's like, I look at it like this. If you're like a kid younger than me, I don't expect you to say Jordan's the GOAT because you just didn't see him play.
Yeah,
I get that. But it's like when you're at least like my age and such.
I'm talking about niggas my age.
See, like I find it a little.
I'm like, bro, like,
but at the same time though, because I know some guys older than you, they actually would argue LeBron is the GOAT to them. Now, of course, the reasoning they give is longevity, and I'm like, okay, I can't knock it, but at the same
longevity
time,
is only a part of the analysis.
Exactly.
Though. I'm like, I don't think LeBron is better in any statistical category than Michael Jordan, but he's had a longer careir. So
I look at it like
looking at cumulative stats, of course, it's going to be more numbers because he's played longer.
Yeah, I look at it like this. I think it's more so the thing that helps him in the argument is just the fact of the dude shifts his game for whatever the scenario requires. But at the same time, Jordan did that too. So,
but does he though?
I think he does. I think the only thing he lacks in the most is just outside scoring. That's the only thing he lacks in.
No, LeBron's actually improved.
No, he has, but compared to Jordan, Jordan could practically score from anywhere.
Sure. I think LeBron, well, what I say about LeBron, he has adjusted his game for sure.
Yeah.
But he still can't thrive
in a system
that's not all about him.
That's fair. No, that's totally fair.
He still has to play the LeBron James system.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't play LeBron James system, like look at even in the Olympics. Look at the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
It's just like in games where he wasn't the focal point and he was on the floor, he individually was struggling.
Yeah.
But when he was the one with the ball in his hands every time,
oh yeah,
he was out there, downhill, attacking the rim, throwing passes, hitting people for dimes. Like when he's doing what he wants to do, it's like he looks more engaged.
Now, I will say this though. I will forever stand on this. It is a complete injustice Jaylen Brown was left off that team.
But why?
I think
I thought so at first too, but looking at it now,
we did fine.
I'm like, maybe he wasn't the right one for it.
Who would you rather have?
Well, you got to think about it. When you're building the team the way you are, Kerr's the coach.
Yes.
How he coaches.
Yes.
The systems that he runs, you need floor spacing.
That's fair.
Jaylen Brown is not a consistent floor spacer.
That's fair.
So it's like, do you really, you want to bring that in and try to have to integrate that? I mean, he's not a good ball handler.
That's fair.
He's not a good playmaker. Now, when you look at the other guys that are going to be playing at his position, like, on the wing, you got KD, Book. Both of those guys can play make, are consistent shooters, inside or out. So, I
think he should have got the nod over Jason Tatum, just seeing what we saw.
I mean, look at what Jason Tatum can shoot, but in the playoffs, he forgot how.
Yeah.
And in the Olympics, he also forgot how.
So I think he should have got the nod.
His floor spacing is just not there, too, which is why he didn't play.
The biggest one, do you think Kyrie should have got the nod?
Over who?
I think
Steph?
No.
I think absolutely not.
I think over Derek White.
They didn't need another point, though.
That's fair.
I mean,
let's be real. Derek White only came up because Kawhi backed out.
Nah, the Clippers made that nigga back out.
It was very true.
They was like, nigga, you ain't doing this.
It's like, nigga, you can't even be on our court. What makes you think you're about to be over there?
You fuck around and get hurt in the Olympics. That's it. Like, you done. We trading your ass.
Hey, look, we can't trade him. He ain't worth anything.
At that point, he wouldn't be. But, I mean, you had Drew Holiday and you had Steph, so I'm just kind of like, who would you really?
I just think
they needed the defense.
One of them two should have been on there.
I think Drew Holiday
definitely deserved a spot.
Drew Holiday, he did his thing. And it's like he fit what the team needed.
Oh yeah, he could score. Aside from
defense,
aside from KD, Drew Holiday is the next best plug-in piece for any team.
Yeah,
he can do practically everything you need him to do.
He can run the offense. He plays defense. He's a good defender.
He's arguably the best defender at his position.
Oh, for sure. Probably the most underrated defender in the league.
Honestly,
maybe not anymore, he isn't. But I mean, for a long time, he was.
I think really though, that Milwaukee title showed everybody like, oh yeah.
I mean, people were still sleeping.
Well, I'm talking about the casuals. They started to realize.
But when he won in Boston, it's just kind of like, all right, like he got two now. It's just like on two different teams doing the same shit on both squads. So it's like, I mean, his game translates.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's going to be interesting.
Speaking of that.
What's up?
What you been thinking about these trades going on in the for the NBA?
What recently happened?
I mean, hell, take your pick. Like, there's been a lot of movement going on.
You're going to have to tell me because I have been so out of the loop.
The big one, obviously, Clay going to Dallas.
Oh, we did talk about that. No, we talked about that on the past episode.
We talked about Clay.
Yeah.
That's like still probably the biggest one. But I mean, hell, the Phoenix signed Tyus Jones.
I thought that was solid pickup.
That was a good pickup.
I was mad.
I was like, okay.
You remember Charles Legend Phoenix?
Yeah.
So we were talking, and I'm like, I was so mad when I saw that because I'm like, dang, they got better.
I mean, hey, they needed that.
Hats off to them. That was a solid pickup. That was probably one of the sneakiest pickups of the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, Tyus Jones, he was like the best point guard probably on the market.
Yep. So solid pickup for them.
Because at first I thought they were going to pick up Chris Paul. Because since he got waived in Golden State.
I think him going to the Spurs is actually solid.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
it's definitely going to help Wemby out a lot. Also, too, I think just his mind along with Popovich.
That's going to be an interesting setup for sure.
Yeah, I think that's going to be scary though too. Like
as long as he can stay healthy. Because I mean, let's be real here. He didn't even really look that bad playing in Golden State last year.
Just couldn't stay healthy all the time.
I mean, he really didn't get that banged up because he didn't play. He was coming off the bench.
True.
So I mean, that was a big move for San Antonio getting him, and then DeJounte Murray going to the Pelicans. That was a big move. I'm kind of curious how that's going to work, but I think it'll do well.
I was kind of surprised though because I was pretty for sure Brandon Ingram was getting moved. Him or CJ?
No. CJ, I think they're going to keep.
Yeah.
Because they was playing him at the point.
Exactly.
He is not a point guard. So the fact that they got a point guard who can also score and do everything
trade
else.
For DeJounte?
Dyson Daniels.
Oh. Dang, so they got DeJounte for...
Yeah, they got him for nothing.
PB&J sandwich.
Yeah,
okay.
Basically. Yeah, they
all
got
right.
That's
solid.
Solid deal.
Yeah.
They didn't give up none of their big pieces for him. So
I can't knock that at all.
I'm like, that's gonna be a good play for them.
Speaking of trades and such, we both Niners fans. I know you've been seeing for one, hats off. So look, the whole Brandon Aiyuk situation. What do you think?
What about it?
All right, so let me say this. Truth be told, I really don't think he's going anywhere. I think he was just doing all this just to try and get some leverage, to try and get what he feels is a good deal. But also, because I'm not sure if you've heard about the whole wide receiver situation, with the Cowboys and the Bengals.
Yeah.
So I really feel like all three teams, including us, Somebody was just waiting for somebody to break and pay their receiver to try and use that as leverage. Now, of course, trying to think Jerry Jones gonna break, you're an idiot. Let's just get that out of the way.
That nigga ain't.
If
you don't want to pay you ain't.
Exactly. You might as well just leave.
You might as well request a trade.
Yeah, but I think Brandon Aiyuk is gonna end up staying because let's be real. Patriots, they offered him $32 million for 4 years. And that was more than he was even asking for it. And he turned it down. Now, clearly, I know why he turned it down. Because for one, not everybody fits on the Patriots. Not everybody likes that program. That program is not for everybody. On top of that, too, their quarterback situation is so up in the air. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. He turned down Cleveland.
Well, Belichick gone.
I know, but they still have a specific mentality there. And on top of that, they're not going to be competing for a title anytime soon. They're in a rebuild, right?
More or less.
Now, Cleveland, he might have been okay because at least they're a little more competitive. But the problem is they didn't want to trade us Amari Cooper and I think a first or second round pick, if not both picks. But also, too, apparently he just told them he's not going to re-sign, so that's why they backed out. So looks like he only wants to play for us or the Steelers.
The fucking Steelers.
I know. I'm like, oh God. But I think he restarted talks with us because that quarterback situation over there, he didn't like it too much either.
I mean, I didn't ever think he was really going to go nowhere.
Yeah, I think it's just all to get money.
I thought he was just out here shopping.
Yeah, that's pretty much all he was doing.
Because, I mean, the NFL ain't like the NBA. I mean, they got a little bit more freedom.
I look at it like this. It would be stupid to leave considering we're going to be contending at least for 2-3 more years for a title.
Right.
Because obviously our biggest thing right now is money.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
What do you think?
What about our problem being money?
Just the whole situation.
I mean, I think homie ain't going nowhere. I'm like, unless they find like a deal that they can't pass up to trade him for, like, I don't think he's gonna go anywhere. So I mean,
the problem is he has a lot more leverage than most people realize too. Because he's on his 5th year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, if he just tells the team, yeah, I'm not signing with you. Nobody's going to take it because you're basically just renting him at that point.
Right. And I mean, I think that he'll probably end up staying and just trying to work out an extension.
Now, I will say this.
Because, I mean, it's obvious that he don't want to go nowhere else because he probably would have took the deal.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. This might be controversial.
Uh-oh.
I really felt like before the draft, we should have went on ahead and traded Debo.
You think so?
I look at it like this. If it meant keeping Aiyuk, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But also, my problem with Debo, yes, he's a phenomenal player. He's probably the best Swiss Army knife at his position. But how many times is it going to take to where this dude gets knocked down and you're not sure if he's going to get back up and finish the game? Because he got hurt in the Super Bowl. He has never played a full season.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Very true. But I mean, what would they be able to get in return, though?
I think you could get something. Because let's be real here. Patriots definitely need a number 1 receiver now, especially since they just released Juju.
Yeah, that's true.
But
what would they give up for Debo?
They give at least a 2nd round. Heck, truth be told, if they're desperate, they might give up more.
That's true. I mean, you said they offered old boy fucking 32 mil. So you think they would offer Debo more?
Yeah. Well, plus he's already on contract, so I think he's got 3 more years on his contract.
Oh shit!
So you're willing to give Aiyuk that, you can afford Debo's contract.
It's very true.
So I'm just saying. So truth be told,
Well,
I think we should just move on, because this is kind of going to be a down year for us. I mean, that Super Bowl loser curse, nobody has ever beaten it. No team has ever gone back to the Super Bowl after losing the previous Super Bowl.
You said no team?
No team has ever done it.
That's false.
No team has ever done it.
Yeah, they have.
Who?
Buffalo Bills.
After losing a Super Bowl.
They lost 4 consecutive in a row. They're the only team.
Or is it won a Super Bowl? I think it's won a Super Bowl.
I don't think anyone's ever repeated.
I think it's won a Super Bowl after losing the previous one.
Let's say because fucking the Bills lost. They went to 4 straight and they lost every one of them.
I had it wrong. It's won a Super Bowl after losing the previous Super Bowl. No team has ever done that, to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not that I know of.
Because I kind of forget about that Buffalo Bills streak.
Oh, yeah, that
was way before my time.
It was before my time.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's the only time that anything like that's ever happened.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
I don't know of any team during my time that has ever gone to 4 straight Super Bowls.
And lost every single one.
And lost all of them.
I mean, let's be real here. The Buffalo Bills cooked right now, bruh.
Yeah.
Even though, they saying Keon Coleman looking nice.
Yeah.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is they need to get him.
I think New York football in general is...
I don't know. They're predicting the Jets to win the Super Bowl this year, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is this.
Most people aren't Jets fans, though. Most people is Giants fans.
The only one we know is Rico. That's a Jets fan.
Out here, yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, my neighbor is a Jets fan, too. I just thought about that, which is kind of funny.
I got a homeboy back home that's a Jets fan.
Well, I will say this, though. Need to get Keon Coleman and Jameis Winston on a podcast or something, because those two are the funniest niggas in the league. You cannot tell me it. Did you see the Jameis Winston interview?
Yeah.
You nigga back, this, that, patty whack, give a dog a bone. But best believe when you talk about Deshaun Watson, he gonna turn it on. I'm like,
yeah.
It's the greatest philosopher in the NFL ever. I'll just say, imagine them two mic'd up in the same game. Like, just the conversation we would get.
Like, what are these niggas talking about?
That would be the purest form of niggatry ever.
You might be right.
I could already hear the rugged trumpets. Well.
Look
Look at what we have here. We got 2 monkeys on the football field. What these jigaboos talking about now?
Right.
Probably talking about they Hellcat scat packs, some watermelon and fried chicken.
Wow. Not the scat packs.
Hey, look. I'll just say.
I mean, he ain't lying.
So, cap this episode off. I did want to have this discussion with you, mainly because it would have gotten boring if they had to listen to me solo on the Macism effect. They would have gotten bored. So, I guess we'll call it a think piece on current day society.
Jesus.
I know you be very vocal sometimes on a lot of things going on in the world when it comes to people. So I figured this would be perfect. Get it all out. Get it all out.
We ain't got enough time for all of that.
Oh, I know. This could almost be a full episode.
It really could.
Well, let me ask you this. Where do you feel we are at as a society right now?
What generation?
I think all of them. I think all of them have their fair share of issues.
Sure, but I think that's just different. Different generations are in different places.
Well,
Like I think the younger generation is still like
cooked,
bro.
cooked.
Like they haven't figured out how to grow the fuck up. Like there should be no reason that people your age are still acting like they're 16.
Oh, I agree.
Like, what the fuck
but
is
also,
going
like,
on?
how do you mean exactly?
Like they literally act like they're fucking 16 years old. It's like they can't do anything for themselves. It's like when did it become cool for like adults to not be able to adult? Like I don't.
I mean, I could say that about some of your generation too, though.
Oh no! I mean, there are some in my generation.
Hey,
too,
there's some even older than us that they can't.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why I say the generation thing almost is out of the window now.
I just think it's more apparent in the younger generation.
Yeah,
because it's like they were raised like, I won't say they were raised that way, but I guess they see other people doing it. And they're like, oh, well, I want to do what they do, which is nothing.
I do have this thought. I've had this thought for like past few weeks. I feel we're at a time now where perspective is not like something that's understood. And what I mean by that is like, I look at it like this. I don't know what goes on every day in your life. You don't know what goes on every day in my life. Now, say you come to me with a problem. I feel a lot of people have a hard time understanding, somebody else's problems without thinking about how they would handle it. Because not every situation is the same.
Sure.
And I feel because of that right now, that's kind of what is causing a lot of tension and arguments with people.
Well, I mean, it's just like most people do. I mean, they reality is like their perception is reality.
Yeah.
When in most cases it's not. It's like similar to like what I like to say and how I go about things. It's like it's a difference between reality and what's going on in your head. It's more so like it's important for people, I think, to know the difference between what you feel and what's real.
Yeah.
What you feel is your perception may not be real.
Yeah.
Like I could feel like your fucking outfit is pink right now, but does that make it real? No. It doesn't, because it's not. It's fucking black.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's like it's just
also too. So I was actually having a discussion with young Wesley, who just got married.
Oh, shout to young Wes, man!
Yeah.
Congratulations, my boy.
So I had this talk with him because he was having a situation where like some of his own family was hating on this nigga.
Why?
Trying to say like, oh, we got married too young, such and such, which we've all said. But here's the problem though. And keep in mind, I've told you multiple times, it's very different for, Jehovah's Witnesses versus everybody else when it comes to marriage. It's very different. But the thing that was bugging me was his cousin is about your age and was sitting there trying to offer him advice. Meanwhile, this nigga's marriage isn't going like how he planned. So I'm like, who are you to give him advice or say, oh, he's going to struggle? It's like, bro, first off, take a step back, realize you're kind of out of line here in a sense.
Well, I mean, he probably was telling him that because he already knows.
Oh, no, but that's the thing. It wasn't coming from a good place.
He was doing that.
Yeah,
like
you're just trying to be a hater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've talked to young Wesley about it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you were there.
We all have.
And it was just like I told him, hey man, shit ain't easy.
Exactly.
But I wasn't coming at him on no bullshit. I was just telling him like, look, this is what to expect. This is the kind of shit that you're gonna go through because, like him, I got married young. And it wasn't easy. It was a
Exactly.
struggle.
But also, too, it's like I looked at it like this because I told him myself, keep in mind, there's only so much advice I can give you because I've never been married. Heck, I don't know if I'm ever going to be married. But that's why I told him. That's why I know not to overstep.
Right.
Because, like I said, there's only so much I can tell you. But also, I feel there's only so much somebody can tell me when it comes to marriage because, A, they may not have the same lifestyle as me. So, with that, I always say, yes, I'll hear out anybody. Am I going to fully take the advice? It depends what it is.
I mean, it's not. Let's like with that said, in your religion, it's a little different.
Exactly.
Because it's just like when y'all get married, that's it.
Oh yeah,
you're
you're locked in.
When you're out here in this world, it's like these women don't give a fuck about that. Yeah. It's like they'll marry your ass and wait till it's been a year and then they'll divorce you and take all your shit.
Oh yeah, because I remember having this discussion with my mom. She asked me,
they
so
be
like
looking for problems to fucking end it.
Oh yeah, I remember telling my mom. We were having a discussion. She said it was wrong, that people nowadays will be in a relationship and still look for other relationships. And I told her, it's a very messed up thought, but it's kind of true. You shop for shoes barefoot.
Exactly.
Yep. And she didn't understand what I meant. So I told her, all right, keep in mind, I'm not going to do this because I just don't agree with it. But
that again goes back to this generation.
Exactly.
This young generation is like that now. It's like to them, like relationships don't mean anything anymore.
Exactly.
It's not a.
But also too, let me ask you like this: unless she got a ring on that finger, it's fair game, right?
I wouldn't go that far.
In a sense, though.
I mean, to the outside, yeah.
Yeah. Now, obviously, if you see her with your dude, you're not going to pursue it because it's just disrespectful.
Right. Sure.
But if she's just by herself and you don't see a ring on that finger until you know she's got a dude or not, it's fair game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
That's the only thing I will ever say. Now, of course, I'm probably not going to do it because that's just not, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's morally right.
Yeah, but again, like you said,
until I know or not, is she got to do
this generation doesn't have morals.
Oh yeah, and that's why I say it's such a lost thing.
I mean, that's like in my last relationship. It's just like you see how people do you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I mean, shit, you were friends with me for a good portion of it, and I mean, you saw
that was rough, man. That was rough what she was going through. But even then, too,
it's just like it's like you do right by people and you treat them good, but it's like they don't feel like they should have to do the same.
And that was kind of a thing I had to have a self-realization with myself. Because I'm the type of person, like, if I call you my friend or something in that regard, I'm going to give you my all.
Right.
So, common thought is to expect that back. But then I had to realize, you know what? That's just not reality.
Oh, after me and her split up, it's like she gave me one of the biggest reality checks that I feel like I needed. And it's just like, stop fucking expecting you out of somebody else.
Exactly.
It's just like, just because you do things like you do right by a person doesn't mean you should expect them to do right by you. Because even though it's the right thing to do, they should, but that doesn't mean that they're going to.
Because the biggest thing, like, I always thought was crazy is like, some people have a issue with like people responding back quickly to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said, if you hit me up or something, my first thought is to get back to you as quickly as possible because I understand time is precious. I value time. And on top of that, I understand what it's like to be disregarded.
Right.
So that's why if you hit me up for anything, you best believe I'm going to make sure I get back to you as quickly as possible. If you ask me for help, I'm going to go out of my way to help you because that's just how I feel it should be. Now, of course, I can't expect that from everybody, but at the end of the day, like I said, if I call you my friend, if I consider you like family, I'm gonna give you my all.
Mm.
So that's just my thought process around it. But even with society too, like egos are a big problem. I feel that's a
nobody likes to be wrong.
But also, like some people really got to keep their egos in check because another controversial take. I actually think bullying within moderation is needed because it's your first lesson. Humans are just terrible species. And B, it also keeps you in check to realize some things are just not okay to be said or thought.
True. I think everyone's been bullied at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's by your older cousins or your older brother or somebody at school. Like, it's everyone.
Well, I think about it like this. Like,
it makes you tougher.
Exactly.
Builds character, goddammit.
Oh, yeah. And I think some people need it because there are some niggas, they think they're the smartest nigga in the world. But then they say something stupid, you call them out on it, and they get all butthurt.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's crazy.
I think that's like real big. Like, there's some in our generation, but I think the younger generation has that, like, I don't want to be wrong mentality.
Yeah, they think they know everything.
They
think they created everything.
And it's like, bro, come on, bro.
Like, this has been here a lot longer.
We were doing this shit a long time
ago.
Especially like with these young niggas and coming up with with speaking slang. I'm like, dude, we were saying this shit like 20 years ago.
The funny one I always think about, me and Tim always go back and forth. Well, better yet, I guess I could say it's me trying to go back and forth with Tim, but he's just gonna quit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Look, man. Look, it's one of my toxic traits. Saying you got it is quitting. I don't care what anybody says. I'd much rather you at least defend your point or just admit you're wrong. Because saying you got it is quitting to me.
I mean, most people, I guess that's kind of my thing. I'm like, if you say that you got it, I interpret that two ways. Because I know I'll do it too. Like, I'm not going to fucking keep sitting here arguing with somebody, especially if I know they're wrong and I have like evidence and facts to back up that they're wrong and they keep arguing it. I'm just like, all right, bro, you got it.
Oh, I mean, at that point, like, I'm gonna just pull out all the facts, show you, and just keep pushing.
No, I'll say the facts. I'll tell them how, when, where, why, and they still want to argue, and I'm like, all right, bro.
But like, see, going back to that, me and him go at it because I'll say this. I think he has a very big ego. I mean, he's openly admitted it. He does. Me, yes, somewhat, I do have an ego, but I have been taught to keep mine in check just due to my upbringing. But at times, I say all the time, my ego does come out at times.
I think everyone has an ego.
Oh, yeah,
it's just a matter of like, can you control it?
Oh, yeah. But at the same time,
use
like,
it when necessary.
Yeah, I'll put it like this. My ego is, I don't think anybody can beat me at anything until you physically have shown me you can. Until then, I don't think anybody's better than me. You have to prove it to me that you are. And yes, sometimes it is dangerous to have an ego like that. But at the same time, it's more so how I keep myself continuously getting better.
I mean, I'm like that with a lot of things too, where it's just like, it's not so much as physically, but it can be.
Yeah.
But my thing is show and prove.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's something factual that you get that you can prove or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Prove it.
Because like previous episode I did with the homie Javon, Drinks and Kicks.
Mm.
I talked about how, I've had some people tell me they think I could surpass Sneak Diss, with that project. And I said, like, I don't really see a point in competing because we've all said it a million times. I'm on record saying it multiple times. They are the best sneaker podcast in the world, I feel.
Yeah.
Now, of
I
course,
agree with it.
That's backed
For
up by
sure.
numbers. I'm never going to argue with numbers. But in my mind, I don't know. I feel like I could do it. But that's what I tell myself to consistently keep getting better at my craft. But of course, no, I'm never going to try to compete with Greg. If anything, my goal with everything I do out here in Arizona specifically, I want to work with everybody.
Right. I would be like, it would be more so like we want to work with Greg.
Exactly.
It's just like Greg, cool. Like
Exactly.
I fuck with Greg.
Yeah.
I was like, we work with Greg.
So it's like I look at it like this: like I don't see a point to compete with somebody unless you try to tell me you're better than me. Okay, I'm more than willing to compete. But at the end of the day, if I ain't got no problem with you, why would I want to compete with you?
Yeah.
Because like I always say, I am a competitive person at heart, but it comes from a place of I just want to make sure everybody around me is continuously improving.
Yeah.
That's what I've always said. So with that, I'm more than open to work with anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of how I am as well. It's just like talking to people. I mean, even, we've had that discussion where it was just like, damn, you know a lot of motherfuckers. And it's just like, well, yeah, that's how you do that. It's like, when you have that like personality where it's like you can just kind of, you basically like picking other people's brains.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
it's
how
just
you
like,
learn in my eyes.
when you start networking and you get to build these relationships with people, it's like you have this network of people where you got people here, people there, people over here. So, being out here in Arizona, it's been kind of the same thing. Where it's like I got my little groups of people out here that I know, like car people.
Oh yeah.
And some sneaker folks. I got a nice little network of folks out here.
Oh, yeah.
Then I got like my network back home. I got a network in Ohio. I got network in Colorado.
Exactly.
Like I got people everywhere. I got people all over the country.
Exactly.
So I'm like, that's just how you want to do it,
Oh yeah. And even with, whether it's this project, whether it's projects we're currently working on, we can't say too much about.
Oh yeah.
It's
not
like,
yet. Not yet.
It's just stuff like that I always say, like, if you're not constantly trying to improve or you're not networking, I'm sorry, like, what are you doing this for?
Right.
Because, my constant thing is always just trying to improve, / making sure everybody around me is constantly improving. Because, like I always tell you all the time, like, this ain't just for me, bro. Like, talent is what I always say I always saw in you right from the day we met. Because it's there. Now, whether you like to see it or not at times, I can't read your mind. But it's like, I always feel I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't at least put you in the right positions or help you get to certain positions.
Mm.
And, at the end of the day, because even then, like, heck, I told you myself, I think you could surpass me, truth be told. Now, yes, I might know how to do all the behind the scenes stuff, but
Right.
talent wise, I think you can definitely surpass me.
Mm.
And I mean, hey, look, like you said, we all have egos, but I can drop mine at some point because I genuinely don't care. As long as I did my job in making sure you got to where I felt you could get to, that's enough for me.
Right.
So,
I mean, I don't really have no ego with you. I mean, you my friend. It's different.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
at the same time, it's like I said, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't somewhat of a friendly competition.
I mean, that's friendly competition is a little different.
Exactly.
It's just like, if I'm really competing against you, it's just like, that mean that I don't want to have nothing to do with you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm like, because if I destroy you in the process, then I don't want to have to care about it.
Hey, look.
So it's like, when you doing friendly competitions with your friends, it's a little different.
Oh, yeah.
Different part of the brain.
Who knows? Who knows? So, final statement. If you could fix one thing with modern day society, what would it be?
That's a good question. The double standards.
We talked about this so many times.
I mean, that's what I would fix. I think just the double standards on from anything, whether it's like gender related or social class related, race related. I think all of that shit. I think double standards is just like that shit shouldn't be a thing. Yeah. It's like if it's not okay for you to do it, then it shouldn't be okay for them to do it, and vice versa. Like
I don't have an argument with that.
I'm like, I don't think that double standard shit really holds.
Hey, not
today. It doesn't to me anyway.
Yeah. If I had to say one, my ultimate one, mind your own business. Look, bro, like it's no secret. This election year, for one, has been the most annoying period I've ever had in my life. And keep in mind, like, bro, I don't care about politics whatsoever because, quite frankly, I think it's all crooked. And on top of that, too, I'm sorry, as a black man in America, they don't care about me whatsoever.
I don't think they really care about any of us.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't even think they care about the white folks. Honestly, I don't
agree.
In this country, they do not give two shits about you unless you are in a certain tax bracket.
Yeah, or you're a part of that elite circle, which we're not going to say too much about that. But yeah,
I mean, if you ain't in that tax bracket, then they don't give a shit about you.
But I look at it like this, constant people. Oh, who are you voting for? Why do you care? Why do you care? Focus on what you're doing.
I mean, that could apply to anything, though.
Nah, I get that. That's what I mean.
Is just nosy now.
That's what I mean, though. I'm just using this as a prime example because I'm like, bro, I don't care if you vote for Trump. I don't care if you vote for Kamala. Quite frankly, I won't be voting for anybody. So why do you care what I'm doing? Focus on what you need to do, what's best for you and your family. That's all I'm saying. And that's with anything else. Stop focusing on what everybody's doing with their money. Stop pocket
watching, right? Yeah.
Shut up. Focus on your household. I don't see why it's that hard. I don't see why it's that hard for people that are older than me. I don't get that.
And nosy goes back.
Something that told me it's clearly easy to mind their own business. I don't know if you saw my story. I posted this post about a man that turned 103. They asked him, how did he span out his life? You know what he said? He minded his own business. That's how he made it to 103. I like that.
I mean, I think that's kind of. I think that's part of the reason that I look as young as I do, being my age.
Yeah, don't stress.
I don't. Much. Yeah, because I don't fucking care about what everybody else is doing.
Oh yeah. Trust me. I try my best not to.
It's like I don't put my nose in other people's shit. Like I just do what I do. I'm like.
Oh, trust me. I'm right there with you. That's why I just leave it be.
Like the stress keep you. You start stressing over everything, and putting yourself in the middle of everybody else's problems and. That's what breeds gray hair and wrinkles.
Agreed. Hey, I'm glad somebody understands it. Anyways, take us out.
Shit. Well, I know we kept y'all waiting for a minute, but we here now. So, I don't know what we gonna do for the next one. We gonna cook something up. But
comment what y'all want us to talk about.
I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to get on. We'll be able to stay on schedule with this one.
Yeah.
So
we gonna improve.
Yeah, I say we've been in a transition, so it's like we should be good. Though.
All right. Well, I'll take it easy.